triangle sum theorem. If we look in our notes, we see that this is A plus B plus C equals 180, right? That's what you do, right? Okay. So all I got to do is take the three inside angles, 50, 70, and question mark, add them together, and set it equal to 180 degrees. Very simple. That's the setup right there. All we need to do now, good morning, is combine like terms. What is 50 plus 70 going to give us? Thank you. Gives us 120 plus question mark equals 180. Now how can I get the question mark all by itself? Subtract 120 from both sides, leaving me with 60 degrees. 50 plus 70 plus 60 gives me 180 degrees in total. All right? So that's if we're just missing an angle. If we're missing a variable, we're going to set it up exactly the same way. My three angles, 42 plus 71 plus 5x plus 12 equals 180. Now I got to be a little bit more careful with the like terms that I combine. What are the like terms that I can combine here on the left side? 42, 71, and 12. My 5x has an x in it. I'm going to leave it alone. 42 plus 71 gives me 113. Plus 12 gives me 125. Plus 5x equals 180. What do I want to do now? Subtract 125, thank you. Leaving me with 5x equals 55 degrees. And now how can I get x all by itself? Divide by 5. How many times does 5 go into 55? 11. Do I want to put degrees on my answer?
No.
No, because all we're doing is finding x. Now, on the test, it's going to say, now that you've found x, let's say this is triangle ABC, it's going to ask you, what's the measure of angle C? How can we figure out, now that we know what x is, what the measure of angle C is? Plug it in. Exactly. 5 times 11 plus 12. We took our x out, replaced it with the 11 that we found. Now we just got to simplify. What's 5 times 11? 55. What's 55 plus 12? 67 degrees. So we found x equals 11. We plug it back in for x on our unknown angle. Simplify it out. We get 67 degrees. Another way you could have done this is, let's just ignore this big expression here. We could also say 71 plus 42 plus c equals 180. 113 plus c equals 180. Subtract 113, and we get 67 degrees that way as well. So either way works. You can set up just a regular triangle sum theorem problem or plug the value for x back in. All right? Probably shouldn't have that open, but. I know it didn't say on here to find the missing angle, but I'm just telling you right now, on the test tomorrow, you are going to have to do that. That's part of it. So plug it back in, see what you get. Questions I could answer on the triangle sum theorem. All right. Moving on to the exterior angle theorem.
So we're going to have to find two answers?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Pretty much all of them, you'll have to find x and the angle itself. Okay, it's a combination of the skills that we've learned this unit. Hopefully you've been honing those skills and practicing them. Now, exterior angle theorem is where we have the most trouble, so we're going to do all four of these together. This is another very, very straightforward formula for us to set up. D is equal to A plus B, right? Where D is my exterior angle. I'm going to mark all of them right now. Okay, all those in red are my exterior angles on the outside of my triangle. So that's my angle D. That means that A and B are the two angles I see on the inside of my triangle. So for number 5, D is unknown. I'm going to call it question mark. Equals A plus B, 52 plus 59. All I got to do is add. What's 52 plus 59? 111 degrees. So this exterior angle here is 111 degrees. Makes sense. It's an obtuse angle. It's the sum of my remote interior angles. So that's if we don't know what the exterior angle is. But most of the time, or some of the time, I guess I should say, we do. So what's the equation I can set up here for number 6? Someone help me set this equation up. 80 equals question mark plus 40. That's right. Now, instead of just adding two numbers together, how can I get the question mark all by itself? Subtract 40 from both sides, giving me 40 degrees. And that makes sense. We know that 40 plus 40 equals 80, and that's exactly what we want. Right? So it's very important for us to understand which angle is the exterior angle, because that tells us how we're going to plug things in and what we're going to do to solve. It's especially important when we kick things up a notch with these expressions. What's my exterior angle here in number 7? 95. So because that angle's all alone on the outside, it's going to be all alone on my equation as well. What am I going to add together on the right? Perfect. 8x plus 1 plus 4x minus 2. Those are my two interior angles. We're going to add those together, set them equal to my exterior angle, 95. What do I want to do now? Combine like terms. What can I combine here on number 7? 8x and 4x. Good. What else can I combine? 1 and negative 2. So this is where, again, we've got to be careful. What is 8x plus 4x? 12x. But what is 1 minus 2? Negative 1. So this is where a lot of people came up to me and said, am I supposed to get a decimal here? No, you are not. When we combine positive 1 with negative 2, we end up with negative 1. What can I now do with this negative 1? Add it to both sides. That'll cancel these ones out, giving me 96 equals 12x, leaving me with one final step to do, which is what? Divide by 12. How many times does 12 go into 96? 8 times. Okay, so there's my x. Now if it said find the measure of angle V, angle V, I just highlighted it there. How can I find the measure of angle V? I know it's 8x plus 1. Plug in the x we just found. So 8x plus 1 turns into 8 times 8 plus 1. Everybody with me there? We took the highlighted expression, plugged in the x we just found. What is 8 times 8? Fellas, stay with us. 64. That's right. Plus 1 gives me 65 degrees. All right? What's up?
Do we have to do that?
If the question asks you to do it on the test, then yes.
No, what would be like the question?
It will say find the value of x, then find the value of angle whatever. It'll have two little spots for you to put your answers. So you'll know that it's asking for two different answers. Trust me. I tried to make it as clear as possible. Number 8 is pretty much the same thing, so we're going to skip that one.
Wait, can you go back?
Sure. What did you guys get for x on number 8? 9?
9.
13x minus 14 plus 14, 117 divided by 9. Sounds right to me. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. On to the back, parallel lines. This is a good bulk portion of the test, so we'll take our time here. First, we've got to identify the angle relationship shown. That means we actually have to write out what relationship we see, then find the missing angle or solve for x. All right. Number 9. I've got 129. I've got my question mark. What relationship does that look like to you? Corresponding. They're on the same side of the transversal. One's on the interior, one's on the exterior. That is corresponding. Are corresponding angles equal or supplementary? They're equal. So what is my question mark angle equal to? 129 degrees. This is Mr. Church. What's that? Yeah, so, yeah, I can send that. He already finished the study, but I'll send it back just so we can look at it for our test. Yep. All right, number 10. What's the relationship here between 50 degrees and my question mark? Same side interior. They're both on the interior. They're both to the right of my transversal. Again, these are the questions we ask ourselves, right? So if they're the same side interior, are they equal or are they supplementary? Supplementary. All right. What equation can we set up now to figure out? Roz, help me out. Beautiful. Exactly right. Question mark plus 50 equals 180. How can I get the question mark all by itself? Subtract 50 from both sides. Just like our warm-up. What's my question mark equal to? 130 degrees. All right, now let's make it more difficult with some x's in here. Number 11, what's my relationship here? Same side interior again. I know that those are supplementary. So what's the equation I can set up for this one?
2x plus 100. X plus 109 plus x.
Great job. I appreciate it, you two. That's right. And I think, Roz, you were reading out the second step, right? So I got x plus 109 plus x plus 79 equals 180. What are my like terms I can combine on the left? X plus x. How many x's is that? 2 of them. And then I got 109 plus 79. And that makes 188. equals 180. So we're just condensing our left side, combining those like terms. What can I do now? Subtract 188 from both sides. Very nice. Now what's 180 minus 188? Negative 8. And that is okay. When we're finding x, we can get a negative number. What can I do now?
Then you have to divide 2.
Divide by 2. Darius, what does that leave me with?
-4.
Beautiful. Negative 4. If it's x, we don't want degrees on our answer, especially if our answer is negative. We can't have a negative degrees of something. We know that x is equal to negative 4. So what are these angles? Let's see. This first one is x plus 109. Well, what is negative 4 plus 109? Well, what's 109 minus 4? 105 degrees. Thank you. And then x plus 79. What's negative 4 plus 79? Or what's 79 minus 4?
84.
75 minus 4.
Oh.
Right? 109 minus 4 gives me 105. 79 minus 4 gives me 75. What's 105 plus 75? 180. And that's exactly what we wanted because same side interior are supplementary. So that all checks out. We can feel confident that our answer is right because the x that we found when plugged into both expressions gives me two angles that add to 180. Right? This is putting this all together. Identifying the relationship, setting up the equation, solving for x, plugging it back in. All right? Let's do that with number 12. What's my relationship here on number 12? Are these same side interior? Alternate interior. Good. Are those equal or supplementary? Equal. So one angle, 65, equals my other angle, x plus 73. What do I need to do to get x all by itself?
We'll subtract 73 on both sides.
Good. Subtract 73. Boom, boom. What's 65 minus 73? Negative 8. Now, again, if you were asked, well, what's this angle right here? What is that angle equal to? Well, what's its partner equal to? 65. Are these angles equal? Yeah, then this one has to be 65. Obviously. And technically, if we plugged in negative 8, we would have got that, but it's a lot easier with something like this. We know that this one's 65. We know that they're equal. So that one's got to be 65 as well. Thank you. Do you have 82 Visa from Friday? All right, questions on our parallel lines here. Don't forget about what we talked about in the warm-up. That'll come up again tomorrow on the test. Okay. Down to 15 and 16 are similar triangles. All we got to do is set up a proportion, cross multiply, and solve for x. We know that the triangles are similar. You don't have an 18? Okay, here you go. And we're on the back, number 15. So I'm going to set up a proportion or a fraction for my small triangle. What can I set my small triangle up as? 12 over 7. Perfect. You can do 7 over 12 too. Now what can I set my big triangle up as to match this one? X over 35. We got long sides on top, 12 and x. We got our bases on the bottom, 7 and 35. Long side over base equals long side over base. Right? There's nothing to simplify here, so we'll just cross multiply. Anyone got what 12 times 35 is? 420. And then how can we get x all by itself? Divide by 7. Giving me 60. So x is equal to 60. And again, here's how we can check this. Let me look at my bases. If I've got 7 and 35, what can I multiply 7 by to give me 35? 5. So if I multiplied 12 by 5, what would I get? 60. That matches up perfectly. We've made this triangle 5 times larger. Okay, we're almost done. Just please keep it together. All right, 2 more. Number 16, same thing. I've got 10 over 6 equals x over 36. 6x equals 360. Divide by 6, x equals 60 again. All right. Now the last one, there's not even a number on here. Also, someone pointed out, I completely forgot about numbers 13 and 14, but that's okay. This last one will just be 17. So, we are going to see something like this on the test tomorrow. All right, I wouldn't put it on here if it wasn't important. What does the first direction tell us to do with this? Split up the image into 2 triangles. I promise you, if you are already feeling iffy on this similar triangle stuff, it's only going to make it worse if you don't split your triangles up. So I'm just going to draw one big triangle, one small triangle, and now I have to label them. I'm going to ignore my big triangle for a second and just look at the tiny one. What's the height of my tiny triangle here? 6. What's the base? 10. So 6 on the height, 10 on the base. Now I'm going to ignore that little guy in the middle, and I can see my entire image as one big triangle now. It's essentially the shadow being cast by the tree. What is the height of the tree? X. What is the base of my tree to the shadow? 15? So that's this part of it. What's the other part of it? 10. 15 plus 10 gives me what? 25. Okay, we've talked about this a couple times. I'm not sure how much clearer we can make it. We even have a note that says don't forget to add the big bases. Okay, it's clearly written out here. As long as you took your notes, you should see how we did that, okay? So now it's just like these problems. We've got our 2 triangles, our 4 numbers. It's very easy for us to set this up. X over 25 equals what? 6 over 10. Height over base equals height over base. Now I can cross multiply. 10x equals 150. How can I get x all by itself? Divide by 10. Leaving me with x equals 15 feet. Do not forget about putting feet or miles or inches, whatever our units are, on a word problem. We have to include them in our answer. All right? Yeah. Do me a favor, go ahead and pass worksheet 82 up. I'm going to check it off and give it back to you before you leave. Sign on to your Chromebook first, and then you can go.